He was the Kaiser of Fashion who boasted supermodels Kate Moss and Cara Delevingne as best friends and helped launch the career of Claudia Schiffer. But while late German designer Karl Lagerfeld sold sex, sophistication, and luxury, behind the scenes his private life was bizarre and often farcical. His death in 2019, aged 85, and the subsequent wrangle over his £100 million fortune revealed one of the biggest recipients was one of the great loves of his life, his pet cat Choupette. And though Karl always liked to be seen with catwalk queens, privately he surrounded himself with a family of handsome male models who also stand to receive a chunk of his legacy. But that could be taken by the French taxman, who is currently investigating the designer's opaque financial affairs after his accountant is thought to have fled to Switzerland following the fashion guru's death. In a new BBC documentary, The Mysterious Mr. Lagerfeld, Karl's inner circle of friends reveal the man behind the image, including his Parisian neighbor, antiques dealer Juan Portela. Juan said, "I thought he was the strangest person I've ever met. I thought the way he dressed was very weird. I don't know how Karl loved. He was such a remote person, even though he may have been very nice with his friends and everything. He was a very remote and private person, and I saw him practically every day when he was in Paris." In true diva style, by the time of his death from cancer aged 85, he had become known as King Karl and was considered to be the last of a generation of designers which included the likes of legends Yves Saint Laurent, Hubert de Givenchy, and Coco Chanel. Starting out in the 60s at fashion house Fendi, Karl hit the big time, taking over Chanel in the 80s, and described boss Coco Chanel as a mean bitch. He then set about transforming it from a frumpy brand into something much sexier. He did so by making up-and-coming model Claudia Schiffer the face of the company, and for years she would grace adverts, often wearing skimpy outfits. The reinvention made Karl a multimillionaire, and he lavished his riches on properties around the world, which he filled with stunning 18th-century furniture and paintings. He also wanted to be seen surrounded by the most beautiful, glamorous women, many of whom he said were close friends. But in true diva style, he demanded complete devotion from them. One pal was shunned for decades because she dared to wear clothes made by Karl's great rival, Yves Saint Laurent. Lagerfeld brand executive Caroline Leber said, "Planet Karl is black and white, made of loyalty and friendship." The recurrent reason of someone disappearing from Planet Karl was him feeling betrayed. That was the worst. His former right-hand man at Chanel, Gilles Dufour, said, "We didn't even say goodbye to each other when I left Chanel. All the people that tried to leave him, they were out, like Claudia Schiffer was at one time." At times his extravagant behavior hilariously backfired, such as his big move from the French capital to Monte Carlo to avoid paying tax and to be close to his friend Princess Caroline of Monaco. He had unwittingly moved into a house, the Palatial Villa La Vigie, which was just outside of the world-famous tax haven, so was technically still in France. When the tax authorities duly came knocking at his door, he had to sell all his furniture and move out of the home he had spent millions renovating. Karl's extravagant spending and gestures were legendary. In the new show, his American niece, Caroline Wilcox, recalls he once had a Lagerfeld-designed wedding dress flown to her in the U.S. by Concorde.